is a beautiful day here in Surprise, Arizona. We are at the spring training home of the World Series champion Kansas City Royals, and it's our first Cubs Cactus League telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet. Spring training baseball is presented by Canals Auto Park. And great to have you with us. 2016 is going to be a lot of fun here with the Chicago Cubs. Jim Deshaies and Len Casper with you. 101 wins when you add up the regular season and postseason last year for the Cubs. But Theo Epstein and company did not sit tight over the winter.
Indeed, they did not. And you could understand if they did play a pat hand. This was a very talented, very young team that we saw perform so well last year, but they were indeed very aggressive this winter. We're going to focus on three major free agent acquisitions. A couple of guys that will join the lineup on an everyday basis. Ben Zobrist will take over at second base. Jason Heyward, the Gold Glover, will take over in right field. You see the numbers they put up. They're guys that draw walks. They hit for a fair amount of power. Tremendous defenders. Very good in the clubhouse. And now we'll turn our attention to today's starting pitcher, John Lackey, late of the St. Louis Cardinals. He, too, a very important pickup, a very durable, very gifted right-hander.
Yeah, he'll slot in number 3 behind Jake Arrieta and John Lester. You like that the Cubs poached a couple of St. Louis Cardinals in the deals, too.
Yeah, so it's, you add two very talented players to your roster and take a couple away from the Redbirds. John Lackey will be making his second appearance here in Cactus League play. He's a guy you can count on for 200-plus innings. He's been double digits in wins 12 times in a row now, 13-10 last year with a career-best 2.77 ERA. He did that as a 37-year-old. Very impressive stuff from the veteran Lackey.
And you like the postseason experience, especially with Zobrist and Lackey, the Cubs have imported. We'll chat with Joe Madden during the ball game, and we are commercial-free for our first telecast here from Arizona, and we're going to send it to our Chicago studios with Kelly Kroll as we get set for the first pitch.
Great to see you guys again. Well, you just saw some of the numbers there from John Lackey. Only Bartolo Colon and CC Sabathia have more wins amongst active pitchers than new Cubs righty and today's starter John Lackey. A season ago, Lackey was a member of the rival Cardinals, but this offseason, he opted to join forces with the Cubs in hopes of doing something special on the north side of Chicago.
John is a lot of fun. John is polite. You saw that when you met him. He's a good old boy from Texas. He's got all the proper manners. But when he's playing in a Major League Baseball game, he gets kind of mean. And I really do dig that about him too. The fact that Johnny knows, not that he knows how, he just separates almost automatically.
Man, I've known Joe for a long time. He was the bench coach in Anaheim when I was a rookie. So I've known him since I was a kid. So he's a perfect mix of having a good time in the clubhouse, but when it's time to work, it's time to work, and we're going to try to win ball games.
Accountability-wise, he will be ready to pitch every day. It's his turn to pitch. He expects everybody playing behind him to be in the same state of mind, which I love. So typically we've talked about, here comes a Tuesday in an obscure market where there's not as many people in the stands that Johnny happens to be pitching. If the boys don't show up, they're going to hear about it. So I like it. I like that level of accountability. It really helps me do my job.
For me, you're taking a number 1 on a 100-win team and you're putting them in our number 3 hole. Are you kidding me? Like, we're going to be pretty good. As long as everybody stays healthy, we're going to be just fine. But he brings a toughness. He's not going to back down from any challenge. He's going to face it head on. He's going to come right at him. These young guys will be better for seeing a guy that goes out there and lays his neck on the line every 5th day.
Yeah, I believe there's a right way to do things. I believe there's a proper way to be a pro, and there's a winning way to do things, and hopefully we're going to do it that way because we have high expectations and high goals.
Back here in Surprise, Arizona, temperatures heating up as the Cubs and the Royals will match up. Both teams well under 500 in the Cactus League, but records really don't matter a whole lot here. Let's get the Cubs starting lineup for today. Talked about Ben Zobrist in the open. He has a World Series ring, or will have one when it's all said and done after spending the second half of the year with Kansas City. Russell, Bryant, Montero. Pretty good lineup here today. Jorge Soler will be in left. Javier Baez learning center field. Jesus Guzman is at first. John Andrioli has opened some eyes in camp. And for the first time this spring, the Cubs have the pitcher batting ninth.
Check in with the Kansas City Royals defensively here this afternoon. They are an outstanding defensive ball club. Roster sprinkled with Gold Glove winners. They set up this way this afternoon. Fuentes is in left field. Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder. Paulo Orlando is in right. Moustakas, Escobar, Colon, and Hosmer. Escobar, Hosmer, and the catcher, Salvador Perez, all won Gold Gloves last year. The veteran right-hander Chris Young will pitch for the Royals here this afternoon. Big, tall right-hander. You look at his numbers for this spring. Last year, 11-6 with a 3.06.
Zobrist bounces to first. Hosmer will take it unassisted. One pitch and one out.
What a day, huh?
What a day,
Man,
indeed.
Beautiful day.
Now Addison Russell. He did not play in the NLCS due to a hamstring injury. Cubs got swept by the Mets, who then lost to the Royals in the World Series. In terms of expectations, I don't know if they're any higher than in these two camps around baseball.
No, yeah. The people that break down the stats, the fan graphs, and people of that ilk project the Cubs as a 96 win team, and that would be, according to their predictions, a comfortable margin of victory in the NL Central.
They don't like the Royals so much, though, do they? Which is really interesting.
They didn't like them last year either. The Royals are an interesting team because they defy some of the kind of that Moneyball logic. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They don't draw a lot of walks offensively. They don't have great starting pitching.
Good start by Chris Young as he strikes out Russell. 2 outs.
And Yost, who a couple years back, his job appeared to be in jeopardy, but obviously World Series ring, he is comfortably ensconced. 7th year. It surprised me when I saw that number on him earlier. 7th year at the helm for the Royals for Yost.
He is their all-time winningest manager. Now last year's National League Rookie of the Year, Chris Bryant. 4 for 19 to start the spring.
Yeah, against Chris Young, you got to force him to get the ball down in the zone. He's the ultimate invisible pitcher in the game right now. He's a big dude, big guy, but he only throws 86 to 88 miles an hour. He throws four-seam fastballs from a short arm delivery, and he works up above the hands, and that's a swing and miss, and that's a lazy fly ball pitch. You got to force him down around mid-thigh where you can do some damage.
Fouled away, and it's 1-2 on Bryant. Cubs as a club hitting .240. That's third to last among all major league teams, but after a really slow start, they are heating up. And they have hit the ball out of the ballpark. 22 home runs so far. Stu Sherwater calling balls and strikes. And right now only 2 umpires on the bases. Adrian Johnson and Todd Tichenor. Corey Blazer is on the sheet, but he is not here. Called strike 3, so Chris Young makes quick work of the Cubs in the top of the first. Royals coming up when we come back, and more with Kelly Kroll from Chicago.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. John Lackey on the way out in just a moment. But in the meantime, when games and workouts are completed in Mesa, Joe Madden, he sticks around to get a little late workout in, takes his custom-made bike in and around the roads of Sloan Park for interval training, and I took on the challenge of trying to keep up with the skipper recently.
Why don't we just say that you're always going to ride on the inside, I'll ride on the outside, okay? That way, that's also chivalry right there. So you're going 12 miles an hour right now. That's pretty good.
See, your bike has the speedometer.
You got to have it.
Is that how you keep your workout on pace?
Well, you try to just see, like, into the wind is one thing, wind at your back is something else. If you could keep up some decent speed into the wind, that's always good. But like I said, these these tires make a little bit more. So you got that Cubs groundkeeper's coming out of nowhere. Yeah, we're going to start going a little bit quicker. Yeah, go right now, go. So now we're going to try to catch them. Oops. Come on, you're doing good. Everything's about energy, man. Everything. And if you have good energy with good baseball players, it's all it all plays. It all comes together. It's not complicated, man. I really try to promote a vibe where guys can be themselves and just provide the energy that they have within. And if they're all doing it, that plays off one another, just keeps bouncing off each other. So it's I think we got that going on right now.
We will hear more from Joe Madden coming up in the 4th inning. And let's check in on the Royals starting lineup. It's a big lead lineup today as Alcides Escobar will start it at short. Moustakas, Kane, Hosmer 2 through 4. Kendrys Morales, key pickup for the Royals last year. Salvador Perez, last year's World Series MVP. Christian Colon's at second. Paulo Orlando now in right. Gerard Dyson's got an injury, and Raymond Fuentes.
Cubs afield. Soler, Baez, Andreoli in the outfield. Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, Guzman third to first. Montero behind the plate. And on the mound is Big John Lackey.
Already underway. 1 ball, no strikes on Escobar. Second start for Lackey. And it'll be Zobrist who plays it on a hop. Well, obviously, talk to Joe, and got a million things we could ask him. But one question is about Zobrist and how much he'll move around. He is going to be essentially the everyday second baseman. He can play just about anywhere, but I don't know if the Cubs are going to need him to play a lot of other spots.
No, I don't think that's the plan right now, but the beauty of a guy like Ben Zobrist, if the plan changes, he's a guy you can plug in many different places.
Strike called on Moustakas. Off to a good start here in Arizona. Spring training numbers are fun because when they're good, you can say, wow, this guy's in midseason form. And when they're bad, you can say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, and you
can make a case either way.
And when you talk to players, that's what you find out. Guys that are having good springs go, yeah, it matters, and I could carry this into the regular season. Guys that are hitting $110 are like, no, it doesn't matter at all. I just need to get my timing down. I just want to see the ball.
This is a huge crowd. They may set a stadium record for this one. And the Cubs draw well wherever they go. The Royals are a very popular team after back-to-back World Series appearances and winning the championship last year. They share this facility with the Texas Rangers. And ripped into right. They're not booing, they're mooing for Moustakas.
Lackey is not an overpowering guy. His fastball right around league average, 91, 92 miles an hour. He'll try to cut it every now and then, sink it. Slider, curve, and a change. That one just got a pretty good chunk of home plate. What Lackey did so well last year was get the jump on opposing hitters. He threw strike one better than 70% of the time. And in all of baseball, only Max Scherzer threw strike one more often.
Long pause before the 0-1 to Kane, and he was late. Well decorated, these Royals. You mentioned all the gold gloves. Kane was the ALCS MVP 2 years ago. Escobar last year. The catcher Sal Perez, World Series MVP. Off the plate inside. Lackey, I think, wanted that one and didn't get it. You're going to see him stomp around out there on the mound quite a bit. He's a very intense guy. Some guys try to hide the body language when they're not happy. He does not. Called strike three, and he just gives to Schwarber the, yeah, okay. The previous one was a strike, but I'll take that one.
Even after the punch out, he still wanted to make his case for the previous pitch.
As I was saying.
As if to say, get it right the first time and I don't have to make another pitch.
Hosmer, the first baseman.
Yeah, it's funny. You see some guys, they're all about just being as cool as possible. Other guys, they use those emotions. And there's Lackey going, yep, I gave you another shot at it, and you got it right this time.
Lined to Russell to end the inning. A couple of hard hit balls in the inning, but no runs. Scoreless after one. Back to Kelly Kroll in our Chicago studios.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, after a 97-win season, the Cubs are now preseason favorites to win the World Series and possibly end that 108-year drought. Instead of running away from these exceedingly high expectations, Joe Maddon's slogan has been to embrace the target. Their focus in Mesa has been on the daily routine with the hopes of everything falling into place come October.
Expectations are what they are, but when you come in and focus on the day, then you don't have a problem because the talent level will in the end will come out in the end. So I'm not too worried about that. I think you need to talk about your goals, and we're going to talk about winning the World Series. And when we won the World Series in Boston, we were planning the parade in September, you know. So it was that kind of group that we had, and yeah. So it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to say, yeah, we expect to win, and our goal is to win the World Series. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
It's having that attitude of we're going to come in, we're going to win, we're going to kick your teeth in. If we're up 10, we want to be up 20. Things like that where we're never satisfied, and that's good for all of these guys to learn it now, because when you lose, it's not easy to, you know, okay, we're going to win. You know, you got to really believe in it, and for them to have that at their rookie year and so on is great.
We just gotta wait till the season starts to see how everything goes. But I'm just ready to go for this season, and hopefully we bring a championship to Chicago.
We are commercial free here today. Our first spring telecast on CSN. Overall, we will have 9 televised games over these next 2.5 weeks, getting ready for opening night in Anaheim. The Cubs will open the regular season for the first time ever against an American League club on the road, so they'll have the DH at their disposal. They're not using the DH today for the first time. And here's Miguel Montero, second year with the Cubs. Sizzling start, 7 for 16 with 5 extra base hits already.
So he'd be one of those guys that would tell you it's important to have good numbers in spring training.
And they're going to improve. That'll get down. And it's going to be a long single as Orlando gets it back in quickly. Most of his hits here early have actually gone the opposite way, but he turns on that one.
Well, look like they're trying to go down and away, and that pitch just stays up belt high over the heart of the plate. Orlando was deep to begin with, so able to cut it off before it got to the corner. Montero has to drop anchor there at first base.
So the Cubs have their first base runner, and now it's Jorge Soler. He's playing left, and that should be routine. As we say in the biz, that was tailor-made.
Yeah, and tailor-made, and somewhat ironic because Chris Young is probably the most extreme fly ball pitcher in all of baseball. He does not get many outs on the ground, but an easy double play ball there.
So just like that, 2 outs, and it's Javier Baez. Talking earlier about the versatility of Ben Zobrist. Baez has been moving around a lot this spring. He's learning the center field position. Joe loves his defense on the middle of the diamond, and he's already made a couple of great plays. He's played some first base. It's possible he could be the main backup at 3 or 4 different defensive positions. Pops it up. Sun always tricky here in Arizona, but Hosmer makes the play with no problem. And Chris Young cruising along here through 2 innings. No score in the second. Once again, Kelly Kroll from Chicago.
Well, in the most unique of circumstances, Dexter Fowler is once again back with the Cubs. On February 25th, after everyone had thought Fowler had signed elsewhere, president of baseball operations Theo Epstein pulled off the stunner of the spring. And even more surprising was the fact that he was able to keep a one-year deal with Fowler under wraps from everyone, even the team, until this entrance.
Ran into Theo yesterday. He's like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you guys." But when someone says a surprise for you guys, you think of an elephant, a giraffe showing up. You don't know, So that was the last thing on my mind, or anyone's mind. And Dexter rolls in. It's pretty cool.
I'm like, man, that really does look like Dexter walking here. I mean, I thought he was at the Orioles.
I'm never off my game, and they threw me for it. I mean, I gave Dex a hug and told him, man, I'm going to miss you. I still was off. So, yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I think everybody was like looking around, kind of dumbfounded. So Theo got us all. Theo pulled one over. It's not too often that you guys don't get the story before us, that's always a plus, knowing that somebody can still keep a secret. So
when things leak out, it's no one's fault. But it can create some difficult conversations for us, some difficult days for us when things leak out. So when you can actually get a transaction all the way to Dexter Fowler walking on the field, you definitely smirk that you were able to hold that and keep it quiet that long.
Bottom of the second, pretty quiet start to this one. Cubs and the Royals, and I haven't even had a chance to ask you, JD, how your winter went.
Winter went great. Spent a lot of time back in my hometown in Messina, New York. Watched some high school hoops. Oh, my dad down to the donut shop, checking in with the boys.
Sounds like a great off season. I know you caught the Blackhawks in Ottawa too.
Caught the Hawks in Ottawa. Just hung out. Spent some time in Chicago, roaming the streets, having some good food.
Lackey to Kendrys Morales. He's the DH today, switch hitter. Lackey's first start, he went 3 innings. So we might see him go 4 today, depending on the pitch count. That's Soler battling the sun in left. Hey, Cub fans, let's go. Following the postseason run and an impressive offseason, there is tremendous excitement leading up to the home openers. Show your support of Cubs baseball from the beginning. April and May offer fans the best availability to get the seats you want. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com. Nice hand for last year's World Series MVP, Salvador Perez, the catcher, and he just had his contract reworked. I didn't realize how underpaid he was, but his team knew it, and they gave him a new 5-year deal worth $52.5 million. He had signed a 5-year, $7 million deal in 2012.
Well, I didn't know the terms, but I knew when we saw them in the regular season, thinking that this dude might be the most valuable player in baseball because of what he brings to the table and what they're paying him.
He had 3 very affordable club options added to that. And I think the Royals realized just how underpaid he was, and you want to keep your stars happy. Speaking of underpaid, John Lackey might have been the most underpaid player in all of baseball. He had signed a long-term deal with the Boston Red Sox when Theo Epstein was their general manager, and it had an elbow injury clause that if he missed significant time, there would be a club option added. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That would basically pay him the minimum. Well, he did have elbow reconstruction. He missed 2012. He ended up with St. Louis, and last year pitched basically for rookie wages.
Yeah.
Now, he made a lot of money the year he didn't pitch, so I suppose you could say that kind of made up for it, but.
Ooh, good slider. And he did it too with, and he said all along, I'm not gonna contend this thing. I'm not going to try to rework it. This is the deal I signed. I'm good with it. He's been around a long time. He's made a lot of money. He's a little creative out there. That time he drops down a little lower arm angle. He's won 165 games in his major league career against 127 losses.
That pitch, according to the in-stadium radar gun, up at 93 miles an hour. They'll slot in number 3 behind Arrieta and Lester. So likely pitch game 1 of that Diamondbacks series after 2 games in Anaheim. Nice play, Chris Bryant, to snag that liner. And we are scoreless after 2. And let's go to our downtown Chicago studios for more with Kelly Kroll.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Well, on a team with veterans like John Lackey and plenty of youth like your Chris Bryant there, Addison Russell is the baby of the group, if you will, just 22 and entering his first full season at shortstop. But as you'll hear from him, very confident and comfortable knowing he's the Cubs' future at short.
Just gives me a chance to just relax and let my ability speak for itself. I'm not in there. I'm not trying to make the team, so I just go out here and just try to have some fun and let my athleticism speak for itself and just have a good time with my teammates here in spring.
And that will be caught by Russell. What a grab.
I just try to make the whole area, whether it's in the hole or that hole, I try to get myself familiar with those spots on the field because most shortstops, or at least me, for one, I wasn't as used to those holes, so I familiarized myself with those holes. Having those add-ons, Heyward and Lackey and Zobrist, my double play partner Zobrist, in particular, it's going to be a good year. These guys bring a lot of hype to the game. They're competitors, and they're great ball players and great people as well.
The sky's the limit for him. It's a matter of him getting comfortable, finding his style, getting the reps at this level, figuring out the way that he wants to make extended plays, because he's going to have a chance to make more extended plays than other people will make just because his range is so good. I mean, it's impressive. It really is. He's still very young and he's got a lot of work to do to perfect this, but he's got all the tools that are necessary to be a really Gold Glove type caliber shortstop.
Just much more comfortable in his major league skin. I mean, that's just what's going on with him right now. I love it. He knows he belongs here. He knows he's good here. Yeah, he's in great shape. He was in fine shape last year. I think he's in even better shape right now. There's a lot going on in his personal life and his family life, which is all positive. So, yeah, he's grown up a little bit.
Jesus Guzman playing first base today. Skies to right. And Orlando makes the catch. This has the feel of the final game of spring training early, doesn't it?
I was just going to say there seems to be like somebody laid down a first pitch swinging edict here this afternoon. But I think that's part of it when you face a guy like Chris Young. We talked about the fact that he's not a real hard thrower. He doesn't have great movement on his fastball, but he has deception in his delivery, and the hitters see the ball well coming out of his hand, and when you see it well, you tend to want to attack it. The problem is because of that short arm delivery and the backspin he gets on his four-seamer, it's hard to get on top of that ball and hit it with authority.
Looking to grab a spot at the bottom of the Royals rotation. They're set 1-2-3 as Andrioli swings and misses. John Andrioli has taken full advantage of maybe some extra playing time due to some minor injuries for some other outfielders. He has 3 home runs, including an inside the Parker yesterday as he bunts foul. This was against the San Diego Padres. He's done everything right. We'll talk to his manager about it in the 4th. Once this ball got over the head of the right fielder and banged off the fence, that was all she wrote.
That home run, his 3rd this spring. He's not a power guy. He had 5 home runs all of last year in AAA, but he's a very good athlete, runs well.
Strikes out here, 2 down. Yeah, those injuries, Shane Victorino with a calf. Matt Caesar has had an oblique, and Matt Merton coming back from an emergency appendectomy. And we're just about getting to the point, right, March 16th, where if you haven't made an appearance in a big league game, you better soon if you have any shot at being ready on opening day.
Yeah, and if you're one of those bubble guys, you're trying to impress and try to force your way onto the ball club, and there's not a lot of decisions to be made with this ball club. You know, maybe one in the bullpen and one on the bench.
Good contact for Lackey, but he grounds out to Colon. Chris Young, 3 scoreless on just 1 hit. He's faced the minimum. We go to the bottom of the third. 0-0 and more once again with Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Lynn. A year ago, Joe Madden brought his unique approach to the Cubs, harping respect 90. Players bought in, and the Cubs surprised a lot of people with 97 wins and a trip to the NLCS. Now in year 2, believe it or not, Madden is even more comfortable and more relaxed going into the season. I took a bike ride with him, as you saw early, and we'll see a little bit more as we discussed year 2 on the job for the skipper.
Johnny Lester said even Joe's relaxed a little bit more in this second year, and I think the response was Joe can relax even more than he has. We weren't really sure that was possible. He did say that.
That's tremendous. He's probably right. I mean, you know, your first year of doing anything with a new group, there's so many firsts going on that you really don't know. Just getting to know people is one of those, probably the most important thing. And we all know what it's like when you're talking to somebody for the first time that you don't know, but you know in our business is really highly charged and pretty good. There's always that level of nervousness within that conversation. Regardless of how much you try for it to not show, you feel it. And then it's up to you to be able to harness that somehow so that it doesn't spill over into the actual conversation. You got to be tough, you know. So and listen, anybody that says they don't go through that is really not telling you the truth. You're right. It happens to all of us on all levels. So that's great that Johnny said that. It's very observant on his part. And, you know, of course, I see the same thing with him. He's a Cub. He's a Cub now. I watch him and his partner, the other JL, Johnny Lackey, doing it. And it's really fun to watch how he settled in this year.
He's the son of an NBA coaching legend who started Glenbrook North and later for Coach K's Duke Blue Devils. Get to know Northwestern head men's basketball coach Chris Collins on an all-new Inside Look presented by Cadillac. Premieres Sunday night at 6 right here on CSN Chicago.
How about 21 pitches for Chris Young through 3 innings?
So that's right around 7 per inning.
Your math skills are in mid-season form.
They didn't diminish, yeah, did not lose a bit there.
There's Paulo Orlando, the right fielder. Five triples in his first 7 major league games. And a strike. They've got an injury. Gerard Dyson has an oblique strain, so he'll start the year on the shelf. But Royals largely are set. Two strikes on Orlando. Calm conditions for the most part. It has been really warm. I mean, early in March we were hitting 88, 89 degrees. And there are some days that can get really windy out here, but we haven't really had any yet. And knock on wood, we haven't seen any rain since Cactus League play started. Weather's just a little more consistent here than it is in Florida.
Yeah. Typically, you know, a typical team in Florida will lose a day or two to the weather every spring. That rarely happens out here. Where you're forced inside to do all your work either in the cage or, you know, sometimes you just have meetings or get a little workout in and send everybody home.
And he got him. Third strikeout early on for Lackey.
tight slider. He'll use the curveball as well, but mostly fastballs and sliders. Mix it a few curveballs and occasionally a changeup. Strike throwing machine so far here today.
Raymond Fuentes playing left. Royals ultimately brought back Alex Gordon, who tested free agency. It was a strange offseason for outfielders, wasn't it? There were a lot of them available. You heard earlier about Dexter Fowler. And a surprise move, came back to the Cubs after it looked like he might have had a deal with the Orioles, but never did, as Fuentes just shattered his bat.
What was the deal with Gordon? Just the market was a little softer than
must have been.
He and his agent anticipated. Pretty good player, real good player.
He ended up getting the largest deal in Royals history. 4 years, $72 million, but he signed after the first of the year. Bottom three, we'll talk with Joe Madden in the fourth. Close, didn't get it. 2-1. It's interesting talking to some of the people who watch the Royals every day. While they were kind of rooting for the Cubs, they wanted to see Cubs and Royals in the World Series. They said we were kind of rooting against the Cubs only because we knew everybody would be rooting for the Cubs instead of us.
Yeah.
You know, if it had gotten to that point. Instead it was the Mets.
Again, very good depth on that slide ball from Lackey.
But I remember when the Royals came back to Wrigley Field for that makeup game in September, we were definitely thinking about a possible Cubs-Royals World Series matchup. Maybe it'll happen this year. Who knows? Escobar out into very deep left center. And it's off the wall. And he's going to try for three. And he's in. Escobar, who hit an inside the park home run on the very first pitch of the bottom of the first of the World Series, picks up a 2-out triple here.
Yeah, not a lot of bite on that slider. The swing and miss slider he showed earlier, this time it backed up on him, caught the upper reaches of the strike zone. Escobar puts pretty good charge in it, and you see both Baez and Soler pursue this one to the wall, so nobody's kind of, I don't know, playing that safety position, falling back to handle that carom, and it allows Escobar to get all the way to third base.
Might see the Cubs outfielders play a little deeper this year than last year. Try to take away a few more extra base hits, even though you might give up a few more singles in front of the outfield. The 0-1 to Moustakas is hit out of play to left.
Yeah, and you know, right now the combination of Soler and Schwarber in left field is getting some attention. Kyle does not have a lot of experience out there. Soler is moving over from right to left. He's had some problems out there this spring. Sometimes very difficult to judge outfield play in spring training because of the conditions. There's always that bright high sky overhead.
And the Royals will grab the lead. And it is only spring training, but Lackey was not real happy with that pitch.
Two for two now for Moustakas today. They're trying to throw the elevated fastball. They wanted it in tighter on the hands, though, and that one ran out over the plate a little bit.
So all this happening with 2 outs. Inside on Lorenzo Cain. Zobrist will glove, and that will end the inning. We are scheduled to chat with last year's Manager of the Year in the National League when we return. But first, Kelly Kroll.
Well, at 30 years old, Cubs ace Jake Arrieta in the best shape of his life. And earlier this spring, manager Joe Madden tabbed the reigning Cy Young winner as the team's opening day starter. No surprise. Though honored to make his second career opening day start, he's treating it as just one of the 30-plus starts he plans to make in 2016.
It's a unique situation. It's nice to be in that role, but you know, I don't put a whole lot of weight into it. Like I said, we're going to need 5 guys from start to finish to get to where we're trying to go, and we all know where that is. Biggest thing there is just to keep your emotions in check and be able to kind of control your breathing and your heart rate, and not let things speed up on you too much. Really, the only thing that I need to work on now is just refining secondary stuff, and obviously emphasis is always commanding the fastball, but I'm in a good spot. It is an honor, obviously. I was able to get an opening day start early in my career, during a different point in my career, so it's kind of a new chapter, but not only for myself, but for everybody here. And we're just looking forward to the journey.
Welcome back to Surprise, and the Cubs trail the Royals 1-0. Our first spring telecast here from Arizona, and we are waiting on Joe Madden. In his first year as a Cubs skipper, 97 wins, a trip to the NLCS, and the National League Manager of the Year. Joe, can you hear us?
Sorry, gentlemen. I was over there talking about dinner arrangements with Mike Borzella for tonight.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's a great segue.
Okay, very good.
Congratulations on Manager of the Year. Well deserved, but I know you're focused on 2016.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. That's very nice, but that means you have a great group of baseball players, a great coaching staff, and front office, and that means all those things. You have to have all those things in place for a guy like me to be considered.
What's the vibe so far?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love the vibe. You're out there often to see us in the mornings and how Bussy gets the whole thing rolling, all the crazy stuff that we're doing. I love that. I like the idea that we're able to keep it loose in the morning, and then everybody gets down to work, and then the day flows a lot more easily because of all of that. So I love the combination of having fun and then down to business, and I think we do it very well.
Yeah, what's the trigger? How do you go from the fun to the business? Do you ring a bell? It's like a Pavlov thing?
Yeah, I think, at that point, what pretty much happens is, if you've noticed, again, like the pitchers will go in a little bit of a group, and they'll explain the day to the pitchers. The position players will break off for their playing of catch, and then the coaches go up and tell them what we're going to do specifically. And it's really fun to watch because these guys absolutely at that point focus in at the task at hand. And again, I think we're very good at separating.
As a manager, and you've been doing this a long time now, and this program you do in spring training where you keep it light and everybody's engaged.
Fair ball.
Yep, look back. Zobrist.
Watch this. This guy plays a nice right field. I'll take it.
Zobrist, it's like watching the postseason last year. Every time I looked up, Zobrist was standing on second base.
That's who he is, man. I mean, I had him for a long time. I had him when he first came up to the major leagues. He was on that shuttle between AAA and the big leagues for a bit. Every time I sent him out, I mean, this is absolutely true. He would always talk about all he's worried about or concerned about is winning. He would wish us well and say that he wants to be back because he wants to be back when we went to the World Series. That's what he's all about.
Yeah, great guy, great player. And I wanted to finish. I was asking about your program. That's it had to be an evolution, right, for you to get to this point as a younger manager. Did you do any of that? Or?
Oh, yeah. A lot of what you're seeing here, honestly, was born of right down the street from Sloan Park at Gene Autry Park in East Mesa. I was there for instructional leagues for many years with the Angels, and honestly, sometimes I got to pinch myself because it's so reminiscent of those days. We would keep it light in the morning for the workouts. It get more seriously as it got deeper into the day, and we played to win it instructionally. I'm really a big proponent of instructional league the way it had been done. I don't want to go old school on anybody right now, but I really believe that at that time you're able to truly accelerate the progress of a young player and possibly skip a level of play. And it was for 6 weeks. It was in the heat. It was tough mentally, and I loved it. But what you're seeing here, the way this is broken down, the way the day flows, really reminiscent of those days, like mid-'80s to like 1993.
Chris Young's thrown too many strikes, quality strikes here.
I've never seen this guy pitch poorly, ever. On TV, in person. I might be a St. Christopher medal. I don't know what I am, but I've never seen this guy bad, ever. He's the best pitcher I've ever seen in my life.
He's been pretty good here early on. Where do you think, I know it changes and we're not asking you to make a decision, but where's Addy going to hit in the lineup? What do you think?
I was just asked that. I mean, I'm going through all the different permutations with our nerds, and I got some really good feedback today. He's probably towards the bottom, of course. I'm probably leaning at this point towards having the pitcher hit ninth. I thought last year, Addison, a big part of his development would be that he'd be protected. And that's why I wanted him 9 and afforded the pitcher into the 8 slot. I think he made a lot of progress from last year into this year. I think he's better able to stand on his own feet right now. So more than likely a 7 or an 8 spot would be the spots I'm looking at right now.
I've used the term embarrassment of riches because of the versatility and the amount of talent you have. I know you love having that. Is it a point where you just have to take a step back and go, I can't come up with too many combinations. I just have to kind of hone in on what I want to do and then let it build from there?
Yeah, let it play a little bit. You're right. I mean, I don't want to overthink it by any means. What I'm really trying to wrap my mind around right now is protection in the batting order and how much protection matters. We're talking about, specifically how to set it up. We have several high on-base percentage guys. We have several pretty much slug guys. And how do you build the lineup among all those different personalities, hitting personalities? So that's what I've been asking the most questions about. Of course, they could run it through different simulations and come back to me with different thoughts and ideas. But that truly is I don't want to say the concern, but that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to set this up that they feed each other properly and at the same time protect each other properly. Because I tell you, the first thing I do when I get a lineup from the other side is I look at a good hitter on the other team and how well is he being protected or not. And that determines how much we should pitch to him or not. So that's where I'm hung up right now, because an embarrassment of riches. It's a nice group of guys. So how do you put it together where the on-base guys feed the slug guys, but at the same point protect the guys that need to be protected?
How about decisions to be made this spring in terms of your roster? I mean, you don't have a lot, do you?
No, I mean, this was well done, obviously, and that's how it should be done, hopefully on an annual basis, where you come into camp and pretty much have a solid idea what it's going to look like. I'm not a big believer, possibly tag up at second, possible first and third. What do you got?
Yeah, there he goes, and he's going to get it.
Now, here's the impact of that play right here. Now the hole's open at first base. See, that's the kind of thing that people overlook sometimes, by the fact that Zoe's able to tag and go to third, even though Addison, of course, could not advance. Now we have a hole to work with. So those are the kind of things you like to have your players be aware of.
Hey, Joe.
Want to put a squeeze on here, Joe?
A safety squeeze with Monty?
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with him.
See what his reaction is. Do you think he would get it? If you put it on, do you think he would get it?
He don't know the sign, man.
He wouldn't get it.
He'll watch. If I put it on, he'll turn right around and look at me right now.
Well, I was just going to say, JD's the analyst.
Listen, I've been with him since 19.
You can't be that brilliant here on TV because you're already a good manager. We don't need you to be a great broadcaster, too.
I have done time with JD in the past on a bench. I actually caught him. And you talk about invisible, like this guy. JD threw an invisible, right, man. I caught him in Boulder, Colorado. You'd be sitting back there waiting for contact, and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I can relate to this guy.
You can. This is you, man, from the other side.
First and third, one out for Montero.
Hit the hole right here. Oops.
John Andreoli, I mentioned him earlier. You've had some minor injuries, Merton, Caesar, and Victorino, which has allowed John to maybe get some more playing time, and he's taken full advantage.
He's nice. He plays with his hair on fire all the time. He's a strong kid. He's a 5-tool guy. I mean, he's the kind of a guy that people refrain from putting that label on just because I think they're concerned that he's not had enough publicity, so you can't say that. But this guy hits with power, could run, fine arm, and plays defense. And the 6-tool, man, the guy comes to play every day. So I'm telling you, he's very, very interesting. Albert's done a great job also. Every time I see Albert, he gets a line. It's a line drive somewhere. So we have all these different kind of parts out there. And Matt, we got to get Caesar back. They're all cut from the same skilled cloth kind of a thing. The way they're built, the way they play, they're very redundant. Or they're redundant. They can't be very redundant.
That's right.
Thank you.
It's like you
would have told me about it tomorrow, so I got to come back with you.
Well, the thing about Andreoli and Almora I would include, too, who could play Gold Glove defense at this level right now, in my opinion, is that even if they don't make the club, they've made an impact to the point where it wouldn't surprise anybody to see those names here later on in the year if you have a need.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me is that they know they can do this. They know that they belong here, that they can play on a major league level. That's probably the most important takeaway from all this for these guys. Let's see what happens here, ball 4. He had the green light, by the way. We were green lighted. Yeah, the biggest thing for me is you guys have heard me talk about the 5 levels of a professional baseball player. Happy to be here. Survival, I like to say I want to stay here. Then the critical stage is number 3, that I belong here, I can do this. And when a guy arrives at that point, he could actually help you win. Until he arrives at that point, he could help you win only accidentally. But when a guy really believes that he belongs here and he can do this, he can help you win on a daily basis. Stage 4, meaning I want to make as much money as I possibly can. Don't blame them. And stage 5, all I want to do is win. So I think by being in camp, being successful, learning what we're doing, getting to know the veteran players, they get a sense of belonging. Here we go.
Well, and to that end, the idea about all I want to do is win. You've got a guy in the batter's box here who's a very talented young player who would love to be out there every single day, and in all likelihood, that's not going to happen. So that's part of the challenge, right? To get a young guy who's at this stage of his career where he's trying to establish himself to buy into that mindset of, well, maybe I don't get 600 at bats, but I can still be on a big part of a big team.
Right, and a guy like this, from not just him, but guys like I've had George Solers in the past, just go out there and compete every day. Just be ready to compete every day. You look at him in the batter's box, and I look at Citizen Kane out in center field for these guys. Really similar kind of players in a sense. And with George, once he learns how to compete like that on a daily level, he's just going to take off. He'll absolutely take off. Yes, he's going to be minus some at bats, possibly or probably. But they'll eventually come his way, and that's in a perfect world in a sense where nobody gets hurt, but people are going to get hurt, and that's going to skew this little rotation thing we'll probably get going on the beginning of the year. So by the end of the season, we fully well expect he'll get plenty of opportunity.
I think the other thing too, Joe, is he got so hot in the postseason. Yeah. You weren't going to take him out of the lineup, so if guys perform, they will play.
Of course, they will, but then again, just be aware of they're probably performing because you're putting them up there against the right guy. Now, you get guys that don't know right from left-handed pitcher, and they're able to perform consistently well against anybody. They go. Those are your star players. And then there's that group that are set up for platooning situations or matchup situations, and they look good at the end of the year because you've done that. And I really believe that if you permitted them to have too many at-bats against the wrong kind of pitcher, you won't like them as much. So you have to be mindful of all that kind of stuff as we set this thing up and move it forward. And again, all that stuff has been thought about. Get out of here. I think it's got a chance to get out of here. It's got a chance.
He dropped it.
I was right. Off the end of the glove. And he's good.
So new life for Baez.
This is the other thing, like with Javi right here, just to cut down and swing in this situation, understand that contact is really pertinent right now. The thing I've been talking to him about a lot is self-awareness, how to, when the at-bats in progress like right now, to make different adjustments according to the count and not just have like a one-size-fits-all kind of a swing.
Here's the 0-1.
Boom. And do you see that developing? Is that light going on? Yeah,
he's done a nice job. He had the base hit yesterday. First at-bat yesterday, a little bit out of control. Second at-bat, they brought the infield in with runners on second and third and one out, and he hit a really well-struck ground ball up the middle. 2 RBIs. The other day, again, was against the Mariners. 2-strike double down the left field line. I like that. I mean, right there. I mean, I like the way he's going about it. You see his feet, relatively calm. He's not real jumpy right now. He needs to get to his hands right now. If he could just stay in right center mentally, he could be all right here.
A double and 2 walks. And the Cubs with a 2-out threat after Young struck out Soler, and a big swing that time. 2-2.
This is what you're looking for right here. He's really looking for that adjustment that really is going to put him over the top as a major league player. It's going to happen. You're always trying to expedite that by talking to him a lot, changing the way he thinks a little bit. But these are the kind of moments you're looking for just to put the ball in play, basically. Chase ball 4, ball 3.
So Young gets out of it, but we enjoyed the chat as always, Joe.
Always my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
See you around the campus.
You got it.
See ya.
That's Joe Madden. It is 1-0 Kansas City, and let's send it back to our downtown Chicago studios for more with Kelly.
You heard Madden talking about the vibe of the team, and certainly one of the guys that helps keep it loose, David Ross, most beloved member, if you will, in the Cubs clubhouse. So it was really no surprise that he led a tour for a group of wounded warriors who spent the day with the team during spring training, and then afterwards were honored on the field before a game at Sloan Park.
Abraham. Abraham, nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you guys. Jason. Nice to meet all you guys, man. This is cool. Jake, can we meet some of the guys? These guys are with Peavy's Hero Jam group, like Wounded Warriors. You know this guy, Anthony Rizzo? Heart and soul of our team. First baseman. Hey, careful right here. This guy's got a grip. This guy's got a grip for you. He shake that hand. There it is. I about ripped my arm off. I was like, ow. Oh, I'm down. This is where we come in. Obviously, our schedules are on the board. Kind of get to know what we're doing today. And like tomorrow's schedule will be up before we leave, how we do our BP groups and all that stuff. Grimmer, Wounded Warrior group, say hello. Justin Grimm, he throws 100, guys. He throws 100. Give it up for Justin. This is Dexter Fowler. We got the whole group. Krista Groen, everybody. Wounded Warrior guys. Well, cool, man. Y'all enjoy the game. Pleasure meeting you guys. If I can ever do anything, they got my contact info. You got it. You got it. Anything. Awesome.
Spring training baseball is presented by Canals Auto Park. Thanks to Joe Madden for dropping by. Well, a lot of good stuff, as always.
Yeah, always entertaining and interesting and insightful. It
would have been nice to see the Cubs score a bunch of runs, but Chris Young found a way out of it. Lackey back out. He's been good today. Hosmer lined to short his first time up, and this will be handled by Soler in left. Here's Morales. At the end of our chat, you heard Joe say we'll see on campus. That's by design. There is kind of a collegial, almost academic feel when we walk into ballparks on the road off the team bus. There's a 60-year-old guy with spiked white hair in front of us. He's got a backpack, fashionable jeans, and tennis shoes. He looks like a college kid, doesn't he? He kind of carries himself in that regard, and I think it really resonates with his players as Morales beats the shift. There aren't too many guys Joe Madden's age who really do connect with the 22, 23, 24-year-olds like he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's adopted that philosophy early on, that he was not going to grow into this curmudgeon, that was better back in the day kind of guy. It's kind of a Zen-like approach to the game. If you never knew Joe and you just started talking to him or read about him or spent some time around him, you say, this guy's like a Southern California hippie, but he's Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of that perfect blend of old school and new school. The Royals got a run on the Moustakas RBI single after Escobar tripled. Cubs loaded the bases with only one out. Could not get a run in the top of this fourth inning. We will not see the Royals in the regular season. Cubs will play the American League West. In the non-NL Central category, I think the American League Central might be the most intriguing division in baseball, with what the White Sox did this winter. The Tigers are kind of at the end of their go-for-it window. Some veteran players bounced up the middle. Russell will step on second. And that'll be a 6-3 double play to end the inning. Talk more about these Royals a little later on. 1-0 after 4. And again, back to Chicago with Kelly Crow.
Well, speaking of those Royals, Ben Zobrist, one of them a year ago, winning his first World Series. But part of the reasons he came to the Cubs was a chance to make history on the north side and win a World Series in the city of Chicago. With that, of course, comes the spotlight, expectations to live up to a contract. But Zobrist, who spent 9 years with Joe Madden in Tampa, knows you can't succumb to that kind of pressure.
We spent, 8 years or so in Tampa Bay trying to win a championship, and we went to the postseason several of those years. And Joe's been one of my biggest backers as a player, going forward here. So to be able to get back with him and try and win a championship with him, not only with Joe, for Joe, and both Dave Martinez, those guys who have coached me for a while, but for a place like Chicago that hasn't felt that for a long time, it's a huge motivation for me to be able to try and do that with those guys and then with this city. So yeah, I couldn't be happier for the opportunity, and certainly very motivated to make that happen. You can't think about the overall amount of, wow, everybody's been waiting so long for this. If you think about that while you're on the field, we're in trouble. We've got to focus on just the ball, just that pitch, that at bat. Keep our focus on the execution in the game. And when you stay in the moment, you stay in the present as a baseball player, that's the best place you can be, because the action happens so fast and you have to make such quick decisions that that's the most important thing, that you keep your head clear of that during the game. And then, when we're talking to you guys, that's when we have to talk about it. So that's when you realize the importance to the fans and to the city.
Back here in Surprise, great to have with us the Cubs Vice President of Communications and Community Affairs, Julian Green, as we get set for the April 11th Monday night home opener against the Cincinnati Reds. And we saw the story yesterday. Wrigley Field will be ready to go come opening day.
We are. Things have been progressing really well, and we've had the benefit of a marvelous winter, which is kind of funny to say in Chicago, but the construction project team has been full steam ahead, and we are so happy that this clubhouse will be delivered to our players once they return back for opening night.
Joakim Soria back with the Royals, and he's now working in the fifth. Chris Young was terrific today. The Cubs will have a brand new home clubhouse. It'll be one of the biggest in all of baseball. A lot of the renovations over this 2-year period we saw last year that the fans will see, and that is the bleacher area. But one big note for all Cub fans, particularly coming on opening night, is metal detectors have been added at all the gates. So I know the Cubs want all the fans to be encouraged to come a little bit earlier, especially early in the season.
Sure, this represents a new era for the ballpark, and we want fans to come early. I think fans in previous years, past years, have waited until they've heard Wayne sing the national anthem and decide to walk across the street from the bars, but we want them to get there early.
That is a foul ball.
And the metal detectors, that's a league-wide policy, correct? It's not.
That's correct. And
everybody's doing it.
Right, JD. We've received a waiver for the past couple of years because of construction, but I think with recent international events, we want to be more diligent. We want to be in line and in tune to what's going on around the country, around the world. And so we're going to make sure that this environment is as safe as possible. But with that comes a very big challenge. It does take time to get through these metal detectors. We're going to be training our staff. We know a lot of fans will be excited about opening day. As you guys know, we get a really big pinch at the gates, and so this additional asset with at all our gates is going to represent a challenge. So there will be delays, and so we want to make sure that folks get to the ball.
Come early and
absolutely
settle in, have a dog, enjoy the ambiance of opening day.
That's right. Nothing wrong with getting to Wrigley Field early.
3-2 on Jesus Guzman. John Andreoli is on deck. And a ground ball to Colon. And he makes the play for the out. In terms of the neighborhood and all the construction going on, what differences will fans notice even from the end of last year when they walk into Wrigley, aside from the metal detectors?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, if you didn't get your Shamrock Shake this week, you're probably going to have to wait a little while, because the McDonald's, as you know it and have come to love it, will not be there. We've started demolition of the McDonald's to start work on the eventual work on the hotel. The office building, which started to go up last year, fans will notice that the full 6-story building is up, and we're going to start to enclose it. And then there's some little-known additions to the ballpark that people probably won't see when they first, but they're so important. You know, we've talked about responsibly restoring the ballpark to its 1930s majesty, and so the terracotta work that used to be a part of the ballpark, or a part of the facade, the ornamental iron fencing on the outside, you will notice outside the ballpark as you walk along Clark Street that many of these features have returned.
That's great. And I want to get back to the security part of it. The safety of the fans paramount as well, and you're going to have some extended netting that will go to essentially the edges of the dugouts.
Correct. I think as many of the ballparks some of the fans have seen here down in the Cactus League already are to code, if you will, but we will be extending the netting from the ends of each dugout from first base to third base. To make sure that we're trying to protect our fans as best as possible. Now, having said that, certainly we're going to continue to be proactive, letting people know that they should watch, be mindful of their surroundings, but certainly Major League Baseball is trying to step up its efforts to make sure that we're protecting the fans as best as possible.
In the dirt on Andrioli, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I've been going to the Cubs convention for about a dozen years, and this was the most exciting one to date. And the vibe is just so good right now. It's a great time to be a Cub fan, isn't it?
It is. I tell you, I think the word that was used was electric at Cubs convention, hosting over 10,000 fans. And everyone is just so excited for the season to start. And, you know, when you look at the numbers that we've had at Sloan Park, it has just been amazing. And certainly, I'm sure for you guys getting on the plane, coming down here with some of these fans, it's been great to see. It's a wonderful time for the city of Chicago, but a great time for this organization.
Andrioli strikes out. And we read a ticket promo earlier. We should encourage fans, those April and May games. Jump on those.
Absolutely.
Huge demand.
Yes. I mean, some fans probably think that a lot of games are sold out. There are games that are still available, April and May, some of these early games when school is still in session, and it may not be the 80-degree weather that we all like, but, you know, there are some tickets available, so go to Cubs.com and come check out these great Cubs.
Looks like Lackey was working on his sack bunting, even though there are 2 outs, nobody on. It's spring training.
Spring training, yeah, good idea.
Yeah. And I've got a big piece of Salvador Perez who's saying, come on, John.
He looked good. The technique was fine. Just didn't get it down. Let's try again.
There will be some 3:05 starts due to national television and the like, but mainly Fridays, Saturdays going back to 1:20, and that was working in concert with Joe Madden and the staff regarding more consistent start times.
Absolutely. I think we have a great working relationship with baseball operations, and obviously as an organization we want to listen to our players, coaches, get their feedback and input, which we do every year, and certainly we want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward as it relates to making sure that we have a great and comfortable environment for our players to play in, and so that was another great example of both business and baseball working together.
You got a great Cubs golf shirt on. I hope we see you in that in April and May at Wrigley Field. That would be ideal.
It's going to be warmer. It's an El Nino thing. It's going to be beautiful out there in April. Yeah.
Maybe I should just wear it every game.
It's 65 degrees on opening day.
I like it. Julian, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's send it back to Kelly Kroll in Chicago.
Thanks a lot, Lynn. A season ago, John Lester signed a $155 million contract to bolster a Cubs rotation that desperately needed a leader at the time. A year later, Lester much more comfortable, and the Cubs rotation is one of the tops in the majors. Along with Cy Young winner Jake Arrieta, the Cubs added the guy we're seeing today, John Lackey, former Cardinal. And Lester is pretty confident that the Cubs rotation not only has the stuff to compete, but has set a rather lofty milestone of 1,000 innings pitched for his staff.
We got the best pitcher on the planet, you know, and you know what you're going to get from me and Lack. We don't do anything that impresses anybody. You know, we don't throw 98. We don't,
have the best curveballs, but we compete and we go out there and we're going to give you 33 starts and 200 innings. And, you know, we'll let the flashy stuff go for Jake. He's got the, you know, he's the younger guy. He's got the stuff that everybody looks back and goes, wow, that's pretty impressive. Then you got kind of the two quiet, you know, horsemen in the back there with Kyle and Hamill. So I think for me, the biggest thing for us this year, and I really kind of want to start talking about it now, is 1,000 innings. I think that would be, I've never been part of a staff that has done that. I think that would be really, really cool if we could get 1,000 innings out of our pitching staff this year, and that would really save our bullpen. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, like I said, that's our big thing. That's really the only goal I set every year is 200 innings. So we do that, I think we're in a good spot at the end.
A reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. This is a packed house here at Surprise Stadium. Two of the big draws out here, the Cubs and the Royals. We're about 45 minutes northwest of downtown Phoenix. So about an hour drive from Sloan Park in Mesa. But that's the longest trip here in the Cactus League. If your longest trip is 1 hour, that's pretty good. Lackey continues. 50 pitches through the first 4 innings.
Yeah, he's been pretty darn efficient here so far. You see the breakdown inning by inning as he gets to 52 pitches now. Got the double play to end the 4th. 3 up, 3 down, 2nd inning.
Cologne does not have a hit this spring. He is 0 for 23.
He's in the spring training doesn't matter camp.
Soler will chase after it along with Baez, and Cologne has his first hit of the spring. He lined out his first at bat. And trust me, his teammates know that that's his first hit.
Heater right there for him. He gets extension through it. Fortunately for Lackey, it stays in the ballpark, but he's got to work around this leadoff double.
Orlando showed bunt. That ball actually hit the paraphernalia of Montero. He just kind of whiffed on it, I think, and that allows Cologne to get to 3rd.
Yeah, Orlando shows bunt here late, and this pitch has got a lot of run on it, and Miggy just boxes it. Pass ball, infield in.
By the way, the top 3 in the Cubs rotation essentially were skipped the first time through. And that is Arrieta, Lester, and Lackey. Lester pitched in a minor league simulated game yesterday, working on his throws. Has been very upfront about his defensive struggles, which he says go back to when he was a kid. Arrieta's next start will come in a minor league game on Saturday. A little bit more of a controlled environment. Foul territory. And that's Arizona for you. Very catchable ball, but Jesus Guzman had no idea where it was.
So tough break there for Lackey, induces the weak contact, but a play not made. And Zobrist was, playing in position where you see him now, so he had a long way to go, and he didn't see it very well either.
Well, that'll keep the runner at third. And Russell battling not only the sun but the wind, which has kicked up. Now Fuentes.
No such thing as a routine pop-up here in Arizona.
Infield still in. And ball one.
Well, if Ned Yost was curious as to whether Fuentes could get a bunt down in a squeeze situation, this would be a good time to try it.
Did you see what he did yesterday?
Didn't he break some bricks or something?
He did. Ended up with some scratches on his forearms. But yeah, that will get in for a base hit. Soft liner for Fuentes, an RBI single, and it's 2-0. Yeah, Ned Yost broke a pile of concrete bricks as part of a motivational tactic in front of his team yesterday. Says he was pretty proficient at Taekwondo back in the day when he was a player.
What's the deal there? How do you do that?
I have no idea. Got to be some trick. They're going to get him. So Fuentes dancing off first, and John Lackey picks him off.
Fuentes cheating a little bit, quick feet, and a very good throw by Lackey, and Fuentes will take the jog of shame back to the home dugout.
That's a strike. Well, if you're going to be overly aggressive with the base running, you might as well do it here.
Yeah, and I think sometimes a good base runner is going to get picked off. If you're looking to get a jump and go, I mean, if you're not running on the pitch and you get picked off just because you got a little lazy, took too big of a secondary or too early, that's not good. But I think you have to be a little daring sometimes and put yourself at risk.
So I referenced Escobar, an inside the park home run against the Mets. First pitch of the bottom of the first, game 1 of the World Series. Did you know that was the first World Series inside the park home run since 1929?
Wow.
The A's and the Cubs.
Lenny Marullo?
It was good old Mule Haas.
Oh, Mule Haas.
For the Philadelphia Athletics. Probably it for John Lackey. He was good today, but he will leave trailing 2-0. And let's send it back to Chicago with Kelly Crow.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Well, of all the free agent acquisitions, you could argue Jason Heyward might be the most important and impressive, signing a $188 million contract. Of course, also comes with some pretty unrealistic expectations. But the former 14th overall pick in the 2007 draft embraces the pressures that come with those expectations.
You got to show up and play every day. You have to welcome, and I think you've heard Joe touch on it a good bit, you have to welcome those expectations. Teams are going to want to play against you. They're going to want to bring their A game. You have to want to show up every night and enjoy that moment, because you're not going to always play for a winning team. You're not going to always play for good teams, and you don't want to take it for granted. So just enjoy the moment. Go out there and have fun with the stage and just let it bring the best out of you. I kind of learned early in my career. I got to play for Bobby Cox my first year, played for Freddie Gonzalez, played for Mike Matheny, and now to Joe, some good managers that have had some good teams. So you can't really control who's going to be your manager. And for me, with Joe being here, it's icing on the cake. Someone, like you said, that's going to run the clubhouse that way, give guys confidence, but also take attention away from them when it's needed. That's going to be a great thing, a great part of why we're going to do pretty well this year.
Cubs spring training baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. There are non-TV games you can catch on that app. Radio calls, the webcasts. Luke Hochevar now pitching for Kansas City. Got some other changes. In fact, there was one in the previous inning. But normally we get to them as the ball is hit in their direction. That's a standard spring training rule. I had to call the other day on a webcast. There's a swing and a fly ball final out of the game. And it's caught by somebody.
Somebody hits one to someone, and what a play. Yeah, and it's right about this time of the game where you'll start to see wholesale changes. Hochevar, speaking of wholesale changes, a former #1 overall pick, essentially failed as a starter with the Royals, made a transition to the bullpen a couple of years ago, and he's been very valuable as part of that most talented Royals bullpen core.
Zobrist is 1 for 2. He will kind of go down in the Royals lore as a pretty important guy in team history, even though he was only there a few months. It's almost like Dave Roberts with the Red Sox. Royals fans really connected with Zobrist last year. And you see Barmas now at short. Whit Merrifield is in right. Paulo Orlando is now in center. Zobrist pops it up off of third. Oh, what a grab by Mike Moustakas.
He's battling the sun, the dugout, but he makes a fine play.
Now Russell, who has struck out and walked. Now, so you asked Joe earlier about kind of the routine down here in spring training. I mentioned the veteran starting pitchers kind of blending in a little bit more slowly than usual. Position player wise, you're not going to see guys play all 9 innings very often here early. I love Joe's comment about this is a no complaint spring training because everybody showed up 3 weeks early. And it gets long.
Yeah, if he had his druthers, he'd probably back them off a little bit, but guys are very anxious. And really, if you get an opportunity to come to Arizona a couple weeks before spring training, go over to the facility, work out a little bit, go out and play a little golf, hike a mountain if you're into that. That's not a bad lifestyle either.
Jason Vosler is now pinch running for Russell.
And you referenced, Joe, backing off the veteran starters here early in spring training. And, there's no perfect formula, right? We just don't know how many bullets a pitcher has. But we do know this. These guys have been around, certainly Lester and Lackey more so than Arrieta. But Jake threw a lot of innings last year, a lot of innings under duress in a pennant race and then the postseason.
Bryant lines to left.
It used to be you felt like you had to build up to a certain number of pitches before you left spring training so you're capable of pushing it to 100, 110, 120 pitches in your first major league start. But rarely does that happen anymore. You don't have to, the norm would be to work up to, say, 90 pitches in your second to last start and then back off to maybe 75 before your first regular season start. But again, I don't know that there's a perfect formula. And so if you can just build up, even if you never threw more than 75 in a spring training start, you would probably still be good to go 6 innings the first time out. And in all likelihood, unless you're very efficient, that's all a manager is going to ask out of you anyway to start the season.
And on top of that, the Cubs will have several guys in their bullpen who will be more than capable of going multiple innings. They have been stretched out as starters here in spring training. Quick throw to first, and Bosler's back in.
Yeah, you got former starters and Richard and Cahill and Woody working out of the bullpen right now. Guys who are capable of moving into the rotation if need be. Guys who are capable of pitching multiple innings. So you're able to move forward with the plan this spring that they're doing by backing those guys off a little bit.
Adam Warren, key addition to the Cubs pitching staff. Once called the Ben Zobrist of pitchers in terms of his ability to start and pitch out of the bullpen. And that could also, JD, affect the bench. You could theoretically maybe have one fewer reliever and then one extra bench guy because of those guys who are able to pitch more often, or at least longer in games. We'll see. Whatever the 25-man is on opening day, that'll change probably within 10 days.
And it's interesting because roster management has changed a lot over the years. You know, you see it all the time now. Well, we need an extra pitcher for this series, so send this guy out, call that guy up. 3 days later, you're making another move. And so you're always tweaking based on the upcoming series, what your needs might be. Have an extra inning game and you burn through the bullpen. You've got to go down to the minor leagues and get a fresh arm.
(3-1), and that's ball 4. Montero's been on all 3 times.
Well, big chance here for Soler. It's not been a good day for him so far. Bounced into a double play first time up. Got caught looking with the bases loaded last time up.
Brian Dunsing in the Royals bullpen. Manny Parra getting loose in the Cubs pen. One question we didn't get to ask Joe is about Kyle Schwarber, who will play a lot of left and still open-ended in terms of how much, if at all, he'll catch. He'll be listed as the number 3 catcher, and we saw him a little bit in the big leagues last year back of the plate. So he's doing work down here in the morning with Mike Borzello and the catchers, and then with the outfield group, Dave Martinez. Borzello says Kyle's a catcher. Dave says he's an outfielder. And Kyle says he's both.
And then, oh yeah, be a ball player. Wherever you need me.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. I mentioned that because Soler tries to find some time in the outfield. That could be one possible way. You know, the other thing, Chris Bryant played a little outfield last year. He may not need to play there at all this year, but you got that in your back pocket if you need it an extra inning sometime, as Hochevar gets out of a 2-men-on jam. And the Royals still lead the Cubs 2-0 here in the 6th. More now with Kelly Kroll.
We've been talking about the Cubs' high expectations this season, and certainly managing a team with those kinds of pressures can take its toll. But Joe Madden seems like the right guy for the job, and he starts every day the same way. It's proven to be rather successful for him. The Cubs skipper and I continue our bike ride after workouts one afternoon in Mesa, and we discuss why consistency has been the key to his approach.
What I like to do is, get up about 9 o'clock and then get my coffee, read my notes, do my lineup. I send my lineup into Peter and to Brandon Hyde, and then, right around 11:30, 12 o'clock, try to get on the bike and go down to the lake. When I could have that consistency of riding, I like to start the day by meditating. I like to meditate for 20 minutes. I have this program on my iPad, and I put my headset on where I could only hear that, and I just really get into my meditating for 20, and then I start my day. It's like anything else. When you exercise, you want to start out more slowly and then build into it, and I think it's very I tell you one thing I know for sure, I definitely feel better, I definitely think better when I start my day out that way. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Anytime.
That worked.
Pretty impressive for not having done this for a while. This is Phoebe Buffet from Friends right here. With the bike, with the basket. We should have put like little bell on the front there somewhere. Yeah, and she would have fit right in perfectly. But thanks for asking and having us here. Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You got it. You got it.
Blue Man Group is comedy, theater, rock concert, and unforgettable dance party all rolled into one. Don't miss the show that has captivated 35 million people worldwide. Dare to live in full color.
Changes for the Cubs. Here's veteran left-hander Manny Parra on the mound.
You sounded a little bit like Uke when you said that, harkening back to Manny's days with the Brewers.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that was by design. You never know.
Making his way around the NL Central, a former Brewer and Red last 3 seasons, pitching with Cincinnati, former starter turned reliever.
Infield changes. Arismendi Alcantara's now at second. Chris Negron at short, and Vossler stays in and plays third. The 0-1. Moustakas fouls out of play. No replay review for a spring training game, so don't have to worry about any sort of challenges or anything today. There are a couple of interesting rule changes that we should get into at some point as Moustakas pops it up. Hey, take home a game used or autographed item and help benefit Cubs charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. Visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items and pre-order game used bases and baseballs. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics items to Cubs charities. The sliding rules have been rewritten at second base. The neighborhood play is now subject to replay review, so middle infielders on that double play turn will have to actually touch the bag. And they have added a 30-second visit clock for pitching coaches and managers to the mound. Do you like the tweaks in the sliding rules?
I do, yeah, I do. I mean, just go ahead and slide to the base, force the infielder to touch the base while he has the baseball.
Outside on Merrifield, I've seen the 30-second clock used in the Cactus League, and I don't think there's any one particular moment when you're supposed to start the clock. It's kind of use your best judgment, but there has not been a coach who's gone over the 30 seconds, so I don't anticipate that being an issue.
And that clock is just kind of a recommendation, correct? I mean, they're going to run the clock, but I mean, I guess if you...
At 30, the umpire's going to tell
it's time for you to go.
Correct.
But there's no... If you linger a little bit longer, he's not going to award a ball or anything like that. You may ultimately get fined if you
are a
repeat offender.
I think it's just getting guys used to the idea of being on time. Also, I think, didn't they decrease the in-between inning breaks a few seconds?
Correct.
Swing and a miss by Merrifield, and he strikes out. So from 225 to 205. So right there, that'll shorten games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'll have to be more efficient in my third out call. Got to work on that.
Here's the chance. Nope. Not going to get it. You have to wait. At least one more hitter.
So Hosmer keeps the inning alive for Morales.
So Parra last year with the Reds pitched to a 3.90 ERA, worked in 40 ball games, 32 innings. As I mentioned, started out with the Brewers, had a couple pretty good years there as a starting pitcher. Control was always an issue for him. He threw a lot of different pitches, and one of the critiques was that maybe he had too wide an assortment of pitches. I don't know if that's fair or not. I don't know if he would agree with that assessment. But that's what we used to hear about Manny. But then moved into the bullpen and had some success with first Milwaukee and then Cincinnati. Chance to make an impression in this camp.
Dusty Coleman is running for Hosmer. And 1-1 on Morales. Yeah, my only concern, especially early with the neighborhood play, is once you get past the 7th inning or the 6th inning, and essentially every play becomes challengeable. If you give up a double play ball, or hit into one, I should say, you might as well ask for a replay. And I just hope that it doesn't get overly officious. That they take a look at every double play to make sure the guy touched the bat.
And I guess like everything else, if it does become an issue, then they could tweak it. But I will say this, watching all these baseball games over these many years, and replay and with slow motion, guys touch the base at second base on the turn way more frequently than I think people realize. You get a lot of, it's just the neighborhood. I think most of the time the play is made correctly.
Leaping grab by Negron, and that will end the inning. Yeah, it will be interesting to watch for sure. End of 6, 2-0 Royals. And let's send it to our downtown Chicago studios for more with Kelly Crow.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Though the bulk of Kyle Schwarber's time will be playing in left field for the 2016 Cubs, he'll also be catching at times, too. Drafted as a catcher, Schwarber is determined to master his craft behind the plate and plans on even using his experience behind the plate to help him in the outfield.
I come from the position where it's, you're always constantly thinking about your game plan, your game management, and, then you go out to left field and, you got to find a way to stay engaged in the game because, you're out there, you only get a couple balls, maybe a game. And so what I started doing was last year, I'd start thinking along like I was the catcher, what would I call here, maybe would affect my positioning in the outfield, things like that, because I still sat in on the catcher's meetings last year, and, so it was only positive things for me. That's to keep my brain going, and if anything would happen, I would still be ready to go back there and catch a game. The wind and the weather and everything plays a different factor in the Wrigley. That's what makes it so special, and just you got to do your work out there. Obviously, you got to keep getting better at what you want to do, and but once you get to Wrigley, it can be different. So. just to make sure you get your due work out here. Then when you do go to Chicago, take a couple fly balls here and there, get used to it. You know, every field's different, so you still gotta, you know, get adjusted to that field.
From earlier this spring, Len Casper hiking the mountains here. The Cubs will host the 11th annual Race to Wrigley charity run presented by ATI Physical Therapy Saturday, April 23rd. Right at Wrigley Field. The 5K course runs through the streets of the Lakeview neighborhood and concludes at Wrigley. Cubs Charities will donate proceeds to support critical care needs for pediatric patients in Chicago through Advocate Children's Hospital. Sign up at racetowrigley.com. It wasn't Len at all. That was a woman. Sorry, Len.
It's okay.
But I know that you like to do a little mountaineering.
I like to get out and about. There's Brian Dunsing. And off his foot. Baez is safe at first. Dunsing got drilled. And looks like he might be all right.
And I'm not sure that Baez is all right down at first base. I mean, instincts take over. You're trying to make a play. You're trying to beat something out. But I always hate to see that head first dive, especially in spring training. Hand first into the bag. You're always worried about a jammed thumb or wrist. You know, and we had this conversation with Joe last spring, and I've talked to a lot of managers about it over the years, and just about every one of them says, you know what, I just want my guys to play the game. I don't want them to be thinking safety first in spring training. I'm not sure I buy into that. I don't know that if I wasn't a manager, I would say, look, I don't want you guys going head first into bases. I don't want you diving into walls to try to make plays in spring training. I mean, I think ultimately he's going to be okay, but he's just a little nicked up there.
Albert Almora will run for him and stay in and play center. He's already got a huge lead. And Dunsing will throw.
Of course, on a play like that at first base, you're maybe as vulnerable staying upright as you are diving. With that fielder diving for the base, you can get tangled up. Twisted ankle that way, you know, so it's no guarantee that that's going to be the safer play. But bigger picture, I'm anti head first,
right,
and I'm anti running into walls in spring training.
Guzman off to a good start. Only his 4th Cactus League game. He's 5 for 10 with a home run. He got here late due to some visa issues in Venezuela. And a base hit. Cubs threatening with nobody out. They've got the first 2 on here in the 7th.
See if Arrieta can do something here. Nobody out. He's looking down to Gary Jones at third base, seeing if maybe they're going to put a sacrifice on. Arrieta is certainly capable of bunting for a base hit. He's got tremendous speed. He signed out of the University of Connecticut.
Teammate Mike Olt, former Cub. George Springer, among other major league guys.
Pretty good program they've got up there.
Cubs down 2-0, but they've got 2 on, nobody out. Baseball is fraught with ironies and paradoxes, and baseball's on the roof.
How about that?
I like it.
Baseball-size hail they must have had here in the desert.
Talking about how to spin spring training stats. You know, the other thing that you hear about spring training in September is, you know, don't overestimate spring training performance, or
don't get fooled in the spring.
Right, or when your team's out of it late in the year. However, if you're John Andreoli, this is your opportunity to do that. Got a major league coaching staff over in that first base dugout, and this is their only opportunity to see him play in person every day.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about spring training, is that it's different things to different people. You got the young kid trying to break onto a big league roster, or the aging veteran trying to hang on to his career. They're going to go about it a little bit differently. And the guy who's in the prime of his career, he's locked in. He's just getting ready to play the championship season.
Let's put it this way. The way Andreoli has performed, it has not only not hurt his cause, it has definitely helped it in terms of putting himself on the radar. One and two. And the runners will hold. Well, Tyson Ross, the Padres opening day starter, he only recorded 1 out against the Cubs yesterday. He gave up 5 runs in the first inning. Hector Rondon couldn't hold a 3-run lead in the 9th inning the other day against Oakland. But when you know your spot on the roster, you tend to not worry too much about those performances here.
Andreoli spent last year at AAA at .277, 5 home runs. 372 on base percentage, so ability to take a walk. Stole 33 bags last year.
Can play all 3 outfield spots. That's funny. I mentioned veteran guys don't worry too much about bad spring training performances. I remember the final spring game last year we did. Kyle Loesch was terrible, and we said, well, he's not going to worry about that. That won't carry over, and it did.
Yeah, he had a miserable year.
They are loaded with nobody out.
I guess the thing with the pitcher, right? If a pitcher was not performing well in spring training, and you looked at the radar gun and his velocity was off 3 or 4 miles per hour, or you saw something that coincided with the poor performance, that would when the red flags would really go up. If a pitcher was getting hit around a little bit at a high spring ERA, but he was still throwing 94 miles an hour or whatever he normally does, you would think, well, he's going to be able to work his way out of it here sooner or later.
Well, they decided Dunsing, after taking that line drive off the foot, that he should come out of the game.
Yeah, he's definitely favoring it a little bit too here as he walks off the field.
So we will get a new Royals pitcher, and he'll get as much time as he needs to get loose. Cubs are down 2-0 here in the 7th. That's David Huff coming on when we come back. We'll send it to Kelly Kroll in Chicago.
All right, thanks a lot, Lynn. Well, it would be tough to argue any team has more fun than Joe Maddon's Cubs. The talent on the field is evident, but the chemistry in the clubhouse might be equally impressive, and it's not by accident.
They bring in good human beings. You know, the talent level speaks for himself, but they're good people. They're good people that want to be around good people, and they want to play for one another, and they care about one another. That's what good teammates are. And that's what I try to be, and I think I guess people see that, so that's a compliment. That's a huge compliment. I think if you can go out of the game and play this game, and guys say, man, I wish I got to play with that guy. That's pretty cool.
You know, take away the talent part of it. I love the group of guys we have in that clubhouse. Good guys, winners, solid citizens. Joe and Theo and I met with every player one-on-one at the beginning of camp. Every day after like 5 or 6 guys, we would just look at each other and be like, good guys. And I think that's so important. I think that I think chemistry is incredibly important. Anyone that's ever gone into an office when they love to get to work every day and they love the group of people, you're going to be more productive. And the same thing is the other things. The opposite's also true as well. If you go to work every day, you don't like a few people are constantly irritating everyone, it makes that drive into work less enjoyable. You might not go the extra mile that day because you just want to get out of there, because you want to get away from those people. Having great clubhouse chemistry, it means so much because you want to be at the ballpark. You want to be part of something special. I think we definitely have that. We can't necessarily bottle what we had last year and know that it's going to be there this year. But I think we have the right guys to create our own chemistry this year and be really effective.
Sometimes you sit back and go, well, what do we need this guy for? And ends up he's a big part of our team. So it's exciting to sit back and now being older and having not necessarily more of a voice, but just being involved a little bit more. They've done a great job. You talk about chemistry, and that's a huge thing. You bring in guys with all kind of similar personalities and that get it and that want to win, and we all pull the same rope, and hopefully we're standing at the end, the last team.
On Monday, April 11th, the Cubs take on the Reds in the home opener. 7:05 first pitch, first 30,000 fans in attendance. We'll take home the official Cubs magnet schedule. That's presented by Giordano's. For more information, visit Cubs.com. That's a must-have item.
Yeah, you got to know where the Cubs are going to be throughout the season. Home opener will be Monday night, April 11th. The Cubs will start the year with a 6-game road trip. 2 in Anaheim, 4 in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks. Left-hander David Huff is on for Dunsing. So on one play, Dunsing and Baez both ultimately had to leave. And hopefully both guys are all right.
And Baez didn't appear to be in too much distress as he left the field, and same thing for Huff. But obviously, spring training game, you're going to be a little extra cautious. Huff's a veteran guy. He's been around a while. First with the Indians. Been a Giant, a Yankee last year. A Dodger. His 3 appearances with L.A. last year. 1 start, a couple out of the pen. Spent the bulk of the year with their AAA club.
Another versatile super utility guy, Christopher Negron. Seen him a fair amount as a Cincinnati Red. And ball 1.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Great opportunity. Giving up 1 would be a win for Huff.
Yeah, would keep his team in the lead.
This could be trouble.
Caught by the second baseman. I think that's still Colon. It is. And everybody holds. I think ideally for the Royals, they'd rather have their right fielder make that catch moving in toward the infield, but Almora did not try to score.
Yeah, that's a play where as an infielder retreating on that ball, you're just hoping you hear that outfielder run you off, but it never happened. And Credit Colon with hanging in there, making a play.
Now Arismendi Alcantara. He's put together a pretty good spring, but this time he grounds into a 5-4-3, and David Huff needed just a handful of pitches to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. And we remain 2-0 Royals, 7th inning stretch time, and more once again with Kelly.
All right, gentlemen, few general managers were as busy this offseason as the Cubs' Jed Hoyer. Regarded as one of the league's elite teams now, the Cubs have become quite a destination. After a 97-win season, the target is square on the back of the players and front office, and it's something Hoyer and the organization have firmly embraced.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable a little bit. You know, so many people are projecting this many number of wins or things like that. You know, it's uncomfortable because we haven't won anything. We got swept out of the NLCS last year. I think it makes this group really hungry. You know, I think we have the right manager and the right coaching staff to make sure that our guys understand that. I definitely don't get any sense being around these guys that they feel like they've won anything. There's any kind of entitlement. I think everyone's excited for what we have. But we realize, like, all those words that are written about us, ultimately, they don't mean anything. In fact, we're probably going to get thrown back in the face if we don't execute.
I just like the way we're doing things, embracing the target. I don't think our guys are worried about, excuse me, anything except trying to get the task at hand done properly and not worry about all this other stuff. I really I'm appreciative and like the way our guys are going about their business.
I mean, I love the embrace the target thing. I think it's great because it's true. Like, you know, we're supposed to be a good team. I think we're supposed to be a good team for a while. You know, we didn't build this to have one good season. We built this to be good for a long time. You know, so hopefully every spring, you know, there's a level of expectations. And I think that the best organizations have expectations every single spring. You know, the Red Sox, you know, the Yankees, the Cardinals, the Giants, every year they come out to spring training and they're expected to be good. We want to be in that conversation every year, not just a new thing.
Tomorrow, the Bulls are back at the United Center. They'll be looking for revenge over the Brooklyn Nets starting at 6 o'clock and streaming online at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports Live Extra app. Brought to you by Xfinity. Cubs couldn't convert. They had 3 on and nobody out. David Huff escaped. And here's Carl Edwards Jr., who made his big league debut last year.
Lanky right-hander off to a good start here this spring.
Parker Morin, left-handed hitting catcher, and he sends one out into deep center. Almora leaves his feet and makes the catch. Did I say he could play Gold Glove defense? That has been routine for him. Wow.
That was pretty special. We've been talking all afternoon about how difficult it is to play the outfield here in spring training, but Almora makes a circus-like play out there in deep center field. Great concentration, perfect timing.
Ball 1 to Colon. That was a great play. Almora struggled offensively to start last year, had a real strong finish at the plate. You know, we've talked in the past about guys like Andrelton Simmons, Nick Ahmed, premier defensive shortstops, and just how good you have to be defensively to not provide much offense. I think Almora will hit at this level. But how good do you have to be defensively in center field to play every day and not provide a ton of offense? It's an interesting question. I mean, I think he's as good as anybody you'll see out there.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it comes down to, you know, whether he's going to be an everyday big league player or a part-time big league player. If there's enough offense there, then he's going to be an everyday player in the big leagues. If not, still going to be a valuable guy, an extra outfielder because of the defense.
That is Raul Mondesi Jr. Made his big league debut in the World Series, right?
That's right. Edwards is not a real big guy, but he's got a big arm. He can get mid-90s with that fastball. Sharp overhand curveball.
This is Travis Snyder.
Edwards part of the Matt Garza deal with the Rangers in 2013.
How's your scorecard look?
Well, I would just say not accurate. I don't have any of the right names in there. I think most of my outcomes are accurate, but
pretty close.
But who actually got the hits and the walks and the strikeouts, I'm not sure that. If you proofed it, I don't think it would score high marks. What's Carl Edwards weighing in at these days? I mean, last year, 150 maybe?
He doesn't look like he's gained much.
Oil can Boydish.
Let's see, listed at 6'3", 170. I don't know. Ball 4. So Joe heading out. And Pedro Strope's going to come in with runners at first and second. And one out here in the 7th. So while Pedro gets loose, more with Kelly Kroll from Chicago.
Long before Joe Madden's third base hoagie made its debut at Wrigley Field and their concession stands, the original recipe was crafted at the third base luncheonette in Madden's hometown of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. In December, CSN made the trek to the blue-collar town and got the secret to what's in Madden's favorite sandwich.
I'm just putting a Joe Madden third base hoagie together. This was my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, Carl and Geneva Mashinsky's original. Nothing has changed. Everything is sliced fresh every day. Tomatoes are sliced by hand. That's our regular, and this is the one that's out at Wrigley's. The Joe Madden third base. It's the ham, cheese, and the salami, the tomato and lettuce, and that's what's out at Wrigley. Someone brought in a picture. Someone was out there and actually saw it on the menu board, the Joe Madden third base hoagie, and they brought in a picture to us. So it was really nice to see. And it is the original recipe from my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. So it's nice. It really is nice.
Tonight, don't miss part 3 of the sad state of college hoops, as we break down another disappointing year for college basketball in Illinois and how these schools can get back on track. The sad state of college hoops. Wah, wah. Tonight at 10:30 on Sportsnet Central. Narrated by Rachel Dratch.
Here's Pedro Strope. He looked good on Sunday against Oakland. Another veteran guy, kind of moved along slowly in the spring. 2 on 1 out. Raymond Fuentes and a strike. Fastball at 94 from Strop.
Strop, like most relievers, can run hot and cold.
That's trouble for Juan Perez, and he'll watch it go. That is a line shot 3-run homer for Fuentes, and it's 5-0.
Yost hiding Raymond Fuentes down there in the 9-hole in his batting order. He juiced that ball. Second hit of the day. Line drive home run. That got out of here in no time. Pretty stroke.
Now Clint Barmas. Thinking about some of the better trades made over the last few years, as Barmas crunches one out to the warning track, Andreoli will haul it in. The Zach Greinke deal, Royals got Lorenzo Cain and Alcides Escobar in that particular deal. How about the Cubs getting Strop and Jake Arrieta from the Baltimore Orioles? That was the Scott Feldman, Steve Clevenger trade. That has turned out pretty well. Cody Decker.
Yeah, Feldman was a real good sign. He pitched well for the Cubs, and in return, they got last year's Cy Young Award winner and a good, solid late-inning reliever.
Quick pitch, swing and a miss to end the inning. But Raymond Fuentes with a 3-run homer, and the Royals now have a 5-0 lead after 7. More in our Chicago Comcast Sportsnet studios with Kelly Kroll.
Appreciate it, Lynn. Well, at 26, Anthony Rizzo is the longest tenured member of the Cubs, entering his 5th season. He's been through both sides of the Cubs overhaul. His first season, the team lost 101 games, and now the Cubs enter 2016 with World Series or bust expectations. It's a ride the Cubs star has certainly enjoyed, and now he's ready for the payoff.
A 1-1 to Rizzo. Cross to right. Way back. Grand slam time.
I mean, it means a lot to be here through the 100-loss season and now almost winning. We did win over 100 games last year if you include the playoffs, but it's just one of those things where I'm just really happy with where I'm at personally and where this organization is at, and I feel like this whole organization, this whole city feels like home. It really feels like home for me. From Florida, but coming up here, it's like, oh, I'm home now. So it's really nice, and there's a lot of work to be done, and we're not satisfied, but where we're at is satisfying, but we also know that there's a lot ahead of us.
Well, it's 5-0 Kansas City, but as we can kind of mess with the numbers, doesn't matter, it's spring training, right?
We're just going to ease into spring training. We don't want to peak too early.
It is just good to be back on the air, and the vibes are good here in camp. Just over 2 weeks to go before opening day in Anaheim. And as we mentioned, not a ton of things to determine on this roster. The number one thing is just have good health.
Yeah, well, if you're in Joe Madden's position, you come into this camp wanting two things: drama-free and health. And so far, he's had that. You know, there's been a a tweak here and there, but nothing really serious in the injury department. Everybody's getting all their work in. The guys are getting their innings. The hitters are getting their at-bats. So far, so good. Mission accomplished to this point in the spring. One of the other spring cliches you hear every year, and you hear it a lot of times from people who follow teams that aren't playing well in spring training, is or not winning. It's, well, you can't just turn a light on. I believe absolutely you can turn a light on. I mean, these are exhibition games. These are practice games. They're not the same, and the intensity ratchets up when you start playing the game for real.
This is Fowler, and it's 1-2. I want somebody to show up at some major league camp on February 15th of whatever year, next year, the year after, an everyday player, and say, I'm in horrible shape on purpose, and I'm going to spend the next 6 weeks getting in shape for opening day.
Yeah. Not the I'm in the best shape of my life.
Right. It's just not how it works anymore. I suppose there was a transition period where guys were out of shape, but they either faked it or lied or just kind of said, well, I'll be ready on opening day. And then whenever that day happened, you just never hear a major league player ever say, yeah, I'm kind of 70% of where I want to be. Now you take a week off.
Yeah, and I think baseball has gotten a lot smarter about how to train players in the off season. It used to be when the season ended, everybody went home like, oh, we'll see you in Arizona or Florida. And now guys go home with programs, conditioning programs for pitchers. When you start your throwing program for hitters, when you get in the cage and start to hit. And everybody, it varies from individual to individual. Some guys love to hit year round. Other guys don't pick up a bat until closer to spring training. But there's so much more emphasis now on nutrition, weight training, preparing the body for the long, grueling season. And mostly it's just knowledge. I think there was a period in time people didn't know exactly what you needed to do.
Hit hard on the ground, but right to second. That is Mondesi. Wilson Contreras.
Now, this is an intriguing guy.
He has come out of nowhere. He won the Southern League batting title last year, hit .333, and top catching prospect in the game. And he looks the part. I'll tell you, I've seen a few of his at-bats. He's got an intimidating presence out there. Catching has gone from a weakness to a big strength in this organization.
I was talking with John Baker about Contreras. Well, John brought him up to me at the Cubs convention. He said, you won't believe this kid. And Baker, former catcher, who's now working for the Cubs, John was saying he was just drooling over this kid's skill set.
Yeah, his point was, you've got those top 1% in terms of athletes. He said, if baseball gets those guys, they're never catchers. And he said, he's in that group. He's kind of a rare find in terms of a great athlete who wants to catch. Mondesi backpedaling, and he's got it.
Mondesi's got a little different body type than his dad.
Yeah,
Senior is, built like a fullback. He went back on that first pop-up. I thought Yordani Ventura had moved into second base.
There's Taylor Davis. And a base hit.
Taylor's got kind of a Matt Stairs, John Kruk look about him, doesn't he?
He does.
Very old school, got the long hair, no batting gloves. Goes up there, hacking.
It looks like Justin Turner with his setup in the box. Juan Perez, an outfielder, some previous big league time.
Yeah, he likes his changeup, Huff does. Just threw it there on 2-0.
Playable for Snyder. And that'll end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 5-0 Kansas City, and back to our Chicago studios with Kelly.
Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio has been through the teardown and rebuild of the Cubs organization. Now amongst the league's best teams, the Cubs roster, and especially their arms, stacked with talent from top to bottom. Arguably could be one of baseball's deepest teams.
And the organization has done a tremendous job of being able to acquire depth and quality people. These are high character guys in the organization. Again, this is something now that we can, we have such communication that we can make a lot of phone calls and find out about these guys. It's one call away now, and that's the thing I really enjoy the most in this organization is the phone calls I get from Jared Porter, Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer, Shiraz, Raheem, and the list goes on and on and on. And it's fun when you're asked questions about these guys because you feel involved. But that's the kind of relationship that we have now. And again, for us to all go through what we went through last year together and just to come up a little bit short but experience that, we know we're going to be there. We all have that mindset. But, let's take it literally one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, one play at a time, and one day at a time.
We're back. Royals lead 5-0. They're coming to bat here in the bottom half of the 8th. Are you in charge of planning your next social gathering? Plan a day or evening at Wrigley Field and enjoy special perks only available inside the ballpark. The Cubs offer special ticket packages for groups of 15 or more. Visit Cubs.com/groups.
Cubs closer Hector Rondon had a rough outing, as I mentioned earlier, on Sunday against the A's. And he'll face Whit Merrifield here in the Kansas City 8th.
Whit Merrifield's going to have to deal with some high-octane gas from Rondon.
And he went around. Fastball at 95. I think mechanically Hector was just a little bit off in that outing on Sunday. And that'll get past Alcantara and into right. Now Dusty Coleman. Yeah, I referenced the American League Central earlier. Royals, the defending world champs, will go in as a team to beat. Tigers still feel like they've got another run in them. White Sox retooled. Twins and Indians think they might be able to hang around.
Yeah, Twins are an intriguing team.
And you look at the National League on paper, and it doesn't always play out this way. In fact, there will be a team that we all think will be good, it won't, and a team we think that'll be bad that will be decent. But you look at every division, and there seems to be a pretty thick line between the haves and the have-nots. Yeah. Got rebuilding going on in Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Phillies and the Braves doing the same thing over in the National League East. Nationals will be an intriguing club to watch under their new manager, Dusty Baker. This is well hit to right and gone. 2-run homer for Dusty Coleman. So both Strop and Rondon have given up home runs. 7-0.
The ball really jumps here, but Coleman put a good swing on this one, showing pretty good pop the other way. Again, time and time again, when you see the replay of the pitch after bad things happen, it's usually about location. Fastball catching a lot of home plate there.
That is a base hit. Orlando Caliste.
I think he's one of the queens on Game of Thrones.
Now the catcher, Morin.
So you mentioned kind of the haves, the haves not. Who are the sleeper club? Marlins? Would you maybe a sleeper club there?
Potentially. Base hit for Morin. That's 4 straight hits for the Royals here against Hector Rondon.
Get back on top, get that ball down in the zone a little bit.
Well, do you consider the Diamondbacks
yes.
a second-tier club? Or
no, I put them as a team on the rise, a team that could surprise.
So I don't know if they're necessarily a sleeper. They spend a lot of money in the offseason, but I think they've got a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah.
They're going to score some runs.
Yeah, they'll score runs. They defend well. They have good athletes. Greinke obviously is going to help the pitching. I don't expect that a lot out of the Rockies or the Padres this year.
Dodgers have starting pitching questions. Some injuries. Another base hit. Mondesi with a single.
Whoop.
And the bases are loaded.
A little mishandle in center field, but Mike Jerschley, the third base coach, had already thrown up the stop sign. Royals here leading 7-0, going station to station. Chris Bosio going to go out and have a chat with Rondon. Probably something along the lines of whatever you're doing, do something different.
There is somebody getting loose in the Cubs bullpen, as Rondon, already with 11 pitches, still has not recorded an out, so he might hit his pitch count before he gets out of this inning.
Yeah, and what you don't want Rondon to do in this situation is to kind of get out of himself, if you will, and try to overpower and strain something.
It's Michael Jensen getting ready in the Cubs bullpen. Popped up by Snyder. Bosler near a very seldomly used tarp. They do have them here, they just don't use them often.
Triple play is in order here.
Somebody turned one in the Cactus League recently. I want to say it was the White Sox. And there was a bizarre play yesterday over in Tempe. Daniel Nava in camp with the Angels caught a fly ball. Thought it was the third out. He flipped the ball into the seats, I guess. Stefan Romero was close to second base, and he was given third. But Mike Scioscia and his staff realized that Romero never went back to first to tag, so on appeal, they called him out. So Nava, forgetting how many outs there were, actually played to the Angels' benefit. They turned a double play after he gave the fan the ball. Snyder strikes out. That's out number one. I don't know if I've ever seen that type of double play.
I've never seen that.
Here's Terrence Gore. 3 on and 1 out. 14 hits for Kansas City. And a called strike. Got some new managers. Andy Green, 38 years old, taking over the Padres. Former Cub catcher Scott Service in Seattle. Don Mattingly's now in Miami. I mentioned Dusty in Washington. Dave Roberts, the new Dodger manager. In the dirt, and he swung and missed.
How about Donnie Baseball instituting the no facial hair policy down in Miami?
Yeah,
what's up with that?
And didn't he kind of have a problem with that as a Yankee?
Yeah, he wore the, like George got after him for his sideburns back in the day.
Well, and I saw the story, and Mattingly even admitted, he goes, yeah, some guys will whine about it. I'm kind of with Joe Madden on that stuff. If it doesn't really matter, why make it matter?
Create a potential problem for yourself.
Barmes, base hit. And the Royals will get a couple more. 9-0. Well, whether it matters or not, it's no fun for Hector Rondon. This is the 9th batter he's faced in the inning. And that'll get in. And that throw is airmailed. And he really did not have a shot at Mondesi anyway. 10-0.
You asked me earlier about my scorebook. It's officially dead. And
you've given up.
Hector is officially done for the day, and Joe's going to Make a change here and let Hector go throw a little ice on that arm and get his running in.
So Michael Jensen will come in and try to get the final out here in the 8th inning. And once again, we'll check in with Kelly Kroll in Chicago.
Thanks, guys. We see Joe Madden head out there to the mound earlier in the broadcast, bragging a little bit about Ben Zobrist. Those two thrilled to be reunited after 9 seasons together in Tampa Bay. And that's actually where Madden nicknamed the Illinois native Zorilla. It was used to describe his gorilla-like strength when hitting the ball. But according to Madden, Zorilla also has a different meaning.
Zobrist, and like he was hitting like a gorilla. You know, he's just hitting the ball hard and far. So I went with Zorilla. That's all that was. That's it. That's no more complicated than that. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth unknowingly, but Zorilla is a combination of Zobrist and gorilla.
It's fun that it's kind of caught on, but you know what a Zorilla really is? It's actually an African skunk, and it has one of the most powerful stinks in the entire world. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's correlation there, but the guys maybe will find out during the year over the course of time.
Yeah, you've gotten to know me now. I mean, I just say stuff, you know, and I don't really know that there's that kind of an attachment to it. I remember the T-shirt came out. I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, Ben, see, the thing about Ben is like this, you know, really quiet, unassuming, very religious man, but when he wants to put it out there, he can. He'll do some goofy stuff. He's not afraid to let it go. His wife's a song actress, artist, whatever. And so Zorilla, Zoe's not afraid to get out there and mess around a little bit too. So he will surprise you on different occasions this year by loosening up and just doing something very unexpected.
I might have some fun. You know, my walk-up song is my wife's music, so a lot of people might wonder, well, why is it he's coming to the plate to a woman singing, you know? And because a lot of guys don't come to the plate to that, and it's because it's my wife's songs.
Here's Michael Jensen. It's good stuff. Ben Zobrist and his new / old manager Joe Madden.
Jensen working for the 4th time this spring. No wins or losses, an ERA of 6, 22 appearances at AA last year. 2-2 with a 2.23 ERA. Those were all relief appearances. '26th round pick of the Cubs in the 2011 draft. Whit Merrifield. Sounds like he should be at the cotillion. Distinguished Southern gentleman. He was a college World Series hero for South Carolina.
And he went. Yeah, spring training. He appealed to first. And 99 times out of 100. It's a swing. We go to the 9th. 10-0 Royals. Kelly?
Well, guys, it's safe to say there's no manager in the game that has a style quite like Joe Madden. From zoo animals to DJs to his laid-back approach, players appreciate the skipper's ability to read them, and his style has certainly made Chicago quite a destination.
I think this year is going to be a lot different in a way of Joe knows everyone now. Year 1's over. Year 2, you know, he got to go in the offseason as well and relax and really dissect what happened as well. And now it's just going to be business and in a fun way. Joe is so good at reading our team, reading if we're tired, reading if we need to pick me up, and that's all those things last year were kind of signs of that. Okay, it's late in the year, let's bring in the zoo. We kind of ragged him about that because we wanted the zoo, but the magician. Okay, we just got swept by our division rivals. It was a tough series. We have a magician in New York. Just things like that, where he knows how to pick us up in the easiest of ways.
Yeah, Joe's got a knack of really knowing his personnel and knowing how to get the players to get the most out of them, and I think he has a feel for that, and I think he really does a good job letting the players be relaxed, letting them be themselves, and let them play the game to enjoy it, and he really just seems to know what to do in situations.
He keeps it fun, keeps it light, and it's a great trait to have, especially you know, in this city with the pressure that we have on us at players at times. And he's always been great at that, at taking some of that on himself and allowing us to just go out and play our game and have fun at the end of the day. So, you know, he's about winning. He's about you know, getting down to business, but he loves to have fun too, and that's an important part of what he does for the team.
Thank you, Kelly. Great work all afternoon. A commercial-free telecast here today. And it is veteran lefty John Lannon trying to get these final 3 outs. His team leads 10-0.
Lannon, finesse-style left-hander.
Not a record today, but a huge crowd nonetheless. 11,076 packed into Surprise Stadium. 1-1 on Almora, and a few have left early. Now 2 balls and a strike.
If you're a glasses half full kind of person, you would say, well, with a blowout game, at least it'll come into the traffic a little bit.
You're always looking on the bright side. Almora with a highlight reel defensive play.
Yeah, well, not a lot of things have happened for the Cubs today, but this was a spectacular play by Almora out there in center field. I got Monty Python in my head now, singing, always look on the bright side of life.
Yeah.
I don't think John Lannon does. I think there's a spot for him on this club right now. Maybe. Probably just a insurance policy depth signing. There is some uncertainty at the back end of the rotation for the Royals, so you could see why a veteran guy would be intrigued about coming into this camp, trying to pitch his way onto a ball club.
Yeah, they've got Chen-Ming Wong in camp as well. And a base hit for Almora. Leadoff single, and now we'll see Jeimer Candelario, who's also opened some eyes this spring. Switch hitting third baseman. He'll bat right-handed. Got to know him a little bit on the Cubs caravan in January.
He's hit a couple home runs this spring. Ball really jumps off his bat. An intriguing looking player. Body wise, maybe a little reminiscent of Aramis Ramirez. Switch hitter, just 22 years of age.
Born in New York, grew up in the Dominican Republic. The Cubs feel good about a few of their up-and-coming pitching prospects, but the depth in the system is definitely position player-wise, and there's a lot of it. Even with guys like Russell and Bryant and Schwarber already here in the big leagues. Travis Snyder will make the play.
Yeah, so now the challenge going forward, right, is to identify those pieces that you really want to make sure you hang on to, because at some point, due to roster restrictions, right, 40-man roster restrictions, as these guys move through the system and acquire, service time, you're going to either have to protect them or expose them to being taken in a Rule 5 draft or waivers. And so sometime in the next few months, you expect to see the Cubs maybe get active and move some of these prospects. Nice to have that depth in case you need some help at the trade deadline.
Ball 1 to Andrioli. He started this game, and looks like he's going to finish it. A rare position player going all 9 here in spring training. Cubs and White Sox will be here on CSN on Friday. That'll be a White Sox telecast. Congrats to Jason Benetti, who has joined the White Sox broadcast team. He'll work that game with Steve Stone. JD and I will be back here on CSN from Surprise next Wednesday. And former Cub Ryan Dempster will do a few innings with us as well. We'll be on WGN this weekend on Sunday as the Royals come to Mesa. And again, 9 TV games in all from today until the end of camp. In Vegas. Got a tough job. Finish up spring training in Las Vegas.
And then we don't do the exhibition game in Anaheim, correct?
No, we can do a practice game if you'd like.
You can go to Disneyland. That's kind of an oddity, isn't it? To be playing an exhibition game against the team you're going to open the season with?
Yeah.
The day before?
I would imagine the major league guys will get 1 at bat at most that day, and you'll see a lot of minor leaguers in that one. Line shot, base hit.
Comeback is on.
Down the groan. 0 for 1. Cubs have had some chances. They have 8 hits. Bases loaded, 1 out, didn't get a run in the 4th. Bases loaded, no outs in the 7th. And could not get a run in that inning. Top to third. And 2 down. That's Coleman over there making the play.
Beats it into the ground. Coleman charges it, flips it on over to first base. Now, if Whit Merrifield is a cotillion name, Dusty Coleman is right where he belongs on a baseball field.
There's a kid named Boog Powell in the Cactus League. I think it was Seattle. Alcantara actually made the Cubs opening day roster last year. Wasn't there very long and had a tough year at the plate. But he's had a good spring. 3-1. He can hit a fastball. That is not the issue. Really has struggled with changeups. Count is full.
Got an off-speed pitch or maybe a little get-over slider on 3-1, and yeah, that's always been a challenge for Alcantara, the off-speed pitch. And then when you start to think so much about that off-speed pitch, when you get a little late on the fastball, then you really get twisted up in knots.
Ball 4, and they're loaded. So it's Vossler with the bases loaded again. So the Cubs have loaded him up in 3 different innings. Popped him up. This should do it. Gore makes the catch, and the Royals shut out the Cubs. 10-0 the final. Cubs get shut out on 8 hits. But they left the bases loaded a couple of different times. So the Cubs now 4-11-1 on the spring. Royals improved to 7-10. Good to see John Lackey in a Cubs uniform. Ben Zobrist we saw today. And we'll get a closer look at Jason Heyward a little bit later on this spring. Dexter Fowler's back in the mix. This club feels very good about its chances.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that if it happened in the regular season, you'd be wringing your hands about all the missed opportunities. But it's not the regular season, it's spring training. And the takeaway from this one was a good solid effort for John Lackey as he continues to build towards his first assignment of the year.
Well, that'll wrap things up for Jim DeShays, for Kelly Kroll, our director Jim Angio, our producer Michelle Godwin, our associate producer Chris Kampka, our tech manager Mark Harper, Jim Corno Jr., our executive producer, and our entire crew, Len Casper, saying so long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.